What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. We're going to talk about theory crafting today. Which fragrances would we like to see in 2025, 25, moving forward into maybe 26, into that kind of thing? Leave in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I have a few that I really want to see. Hopefully they come out. You can't really theory craft any of these like Middle Eastern houses because they just put out some of the most randomest fragrances on the planet. Like Lattafa just came out with Lattafa Assad Bourbon, and that I don't think anybody ever would have saw that one coming. And so it's like, same thing with Zanzibar. I don't think anybody ever would have thought that they would come out with Lattafa Zanzibar. So I think this should be like limited to designers, unless you want to get really wild in the comments down below. I'd love to read them and kind of see what you guys are thinking. The first one I would love to see, and hopefully this one comes out on my birthday. That would be awesome. But Bleu de Chanel Elixir, where is it? No one knows. Why isn't Chanel released Bleu de Chanel Elixir? This is the most confusing thing in the modern era. You have like such a great opportunity here for Bleu de Chanel Elixir, and I don't really know how they could do it because the Bleu de Chanel DNA is so rich and complex that I don't really know how they can do it. They could really emphasize the amber woods in there and kind of bring out this kind of musky amber tone kind of smell. And maybe I'm trying to veer away from the whole classic just add oud, because that's the stupidest thing. I've realized this, and it's just really stupid at this point. Adding oud to anything doesn't make it all of a sudden more appealing as a consumer in my eyes now. Actually, when I see oud, I'm kind of hesitant about picking it up. But Bleu de Chanel Elixir, I think that they could really go with like a very, very nice ebony wood or gaiac wood in there, and then adding, hear me out, a little bit of iris, adding a touch of an iris, kind of like what they did with Armani Code, the Parfum version, that kind of thing. So like a Bleu de Chanel kind of inspired fragrance with this nice touch of lavender iris kind of character. I think that would be phenomenal. I've actually experimented like making up Bleu de Chanel's formula and then adding in some iris, and it actually smells really good. So that would be a really cool option for them to do. But like I said, they could do anything, and because they have some of the top perfumers, at their disposal, so they could come up with a lot. They could even make the next Bleu de Chanel Elixir, hear me out, a Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir clone. All right, the next one I would really love to see, I would really like to see a new John Varvatos, line. Not in the artisan kind of line, not that classic looking bottle, but in a John Varvatos, a brand new line of John Varvatos, like John Varvatos Voyage or something. I don't know, just like an offshoot John Varvatos. I think that would be awesome and make it a little bit more like longevity is the main focus of it, and not necessarily like fresh and clean, but more of a emphasis on a appealing longevity fragrance. I mean, they could probably just make it a Club de Nuit Intense Man clone or Creed Aventus clone and just crank up the longevity. But John Varvatos is such an underrated house. It's such an underrated fragrance line, in my opinion, truly, that I think it would be really, really cool to see them come out with a brand new line, something completely out of the ordinary. They don't even have to call it John Varvatos. They could just say JV, add the line or the fragrance, like Sauvage, like Dior Sauvage, but John Varvatos Sauvage, something like that, like a brand new line. I think it would be awesome. They could really do a lot. I mean, if they have, good marketing, good perfumers working on it, I think they could come up with something really awesome. I know John Varvatos for a long time was going through I think they filed for bankruptcy, I'm pretty sure. And so we all thought that their fragrances were just going to be gone. And I still think they're around. I think you can still pick up a couple of them on discount or so. I think I should pick up a lot more of them here soon, but I would love to see a John Varvatos brand new line. I think that would be dope. All right, this next one might be a little controversial, but it's from Tom Ford. I think I would love to see them. I mean, I think it's one of their best sellers in the private blend line, so this most likely will never, ever happen. My theory is they discontinued Tobacco Vanille and they put it into the private or the designer line or the ombre line, the bottles that look like the new bottles. Anyway, it's such a far-fetched idea because Tobacco Vanille is one of their best sellers, but they could, because the private or the designer line, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called, the Privé line or whatever it's called, those fragrances sell a lot. Like Ombre Leather is a huge fragrance, and because they're front and center in like Sephora's and Ulta's, like that, those are the ones that they carry, not the private blends. The private blends they only sell at certain retailers in like malls and those kinds. I think it would be cool because then they can do, you know, Tobacco Vanille, and then they could do Tobacco Vanille with leather or Tobacco Vanille Extreme, something like that. I don't know. I think it would be a dope opportunity for them to expand the DNA of Tobacco Vanille into this unique kind of take on a bunch of different things. I don't think it would ever happen because Tobacco Vanille is such a popular private blend fragrance that I don't think they would ever consider doing that. I mean, for sales, I don't think it would disrupt anything. I think it would actually sell a lot more, but that's just my opinion. All right, the next one I would really, really love to see is their new Armani Code Cologne. So like this kind of bottle, but just a blue, like a blue version of this, and name it Cologne, kind of like how they did that, or the original Cologne, because I love the Cologne, the original Cologne. It's so fantastic. Orange Blossom Heavy Armani Code. It's amazing. That's an amazing combo. I think that they should really introduce it into this next line, but I think that they're just going for the full black bottles across the board. So it might be a very far-fetched idea, but they could do like the blue bottle, and then they could do Armani Code Eau Fresh and do a, you know, white bottle. I think that would be dope too. Or Armani Code Ice. They used to have that fragrance out for a while, and then it got discontinued. But yeah, they could add to that line in a little bit more of a unique way instead of just an all black lineup. They could add a blue, you know, and they don't even have to do like, they could do like a shiny blue. It doesn't have to be a matte finish blue. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I think they should release a Cologne version of Armani Code. I think it would be fantastic. Keep the same notes, keep the same fragrance. Honestly, it smells amazing, but maybe refine it just a touch and re-release it. I think I would be buying it. All right, the next one, I really think that they're going to release this one eventually. Maybe not this year, but I think next year, is Dior Homme Elixir. I think we're on the verge of us having a Dior Homme Elixir, and I think what they're planning on doing, honestly, truly, is the release of Dior Homme Parfum, this new one that just came out. I really think that they purposely made it a little less than the original one, because I think what they're planning on doing is releasing Elixir route. They're going to release this kind of style bottle, full blacked out bottle with Elixir here. I could be totally wrong, but it's the hunch. It's the hunch that I have. They're going to have their original, you know, their whole lineup, and then the Elixir. I just think it's inevitable at this point. And they're going to re-add, honestly, the leather and the oud and make it a little bit more richer, but go back to the original Dior Homme Parfum DNA. That's what I think, honestly. And I wouldn't be too mad about that. I really wouldn't. I think if they had a really deep fragrance within the line, I think, because the line is so exceptionally broad, it has this nice, like, this is an excellent, like, going out date fragrance, vanilla heavy with this, you know, cedarwood, you know, amberwood stuff in here. But they also have the original, the Dior Homme 2020, which is an exceptional cashmere and musky, fresh, kind of just classic everyday kind of fragrance. Then you have the sport version of that, which just takes that DNA and makes it a little bit more citrus fresh and this a little bit more sport-like quality. And so you have the two freshies, and then you have Dior Homme Intense, which is a bit more woody fresh, iris base, nice vanilla in there. And then I feel like this one is just a little bit richer than the intense version. So it's like you have a more intense version of the intense. And then if you introduce the Elixir version, you have an exceptional lineup there. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I would really love to see, I'm an Invictus fanboy. I would love to see them release a kind of like an Invictus, I guess I would call it Triumph. I don't really know what they would do different in the lineup. I mean, they could really just reimagine something about it, but the line is pretty broad for the most part. Like you have the freshness and the sweetness of the original, the sweet aquatic of the aqua version, and then that salty marine sweet kind of smell with the intense, and then you have the beautiful sophisticated warm sandalwood with this soap-like quality coming from the parfum. And then not even to mention the Victory line. Like Victory, the original Victory is an amazing vanilla tonka bean, fresh, spicy, peppery kind of smell with this amazing vanilla in there. And then you have the Elixir version, which a lot of people love. It smells great in the air, but it's definitely a challenging fragrance for me to wear because it's like so sickeningly sweet. It's got like a caramel something or other going on in there. I just can't stand it. I know a lot of people really love it, but like a new Victus Triumph, so to speak, new approach to the DNA. I think that would be cool. I don't really know what they could do with it, but that would be an awesome kind of release. The other one I wrote down here is Jean Paul Gaultier's La Malle at Sea. I would love to see, I would love to see a version of La Malle that's an aquatic marine, like a bit salty, but still having the sweetness and almost like Invictus Aqua made with like Jean Paul Gaultier's La Malle DNA, mixing those two together. I think it would be fantastic, and name it like La Malle at Sea, because that fits their whole agenda that they're pushing, the men at sea and this whole La Malle splash each other with water and giggle at each other. I think it really works well with their whole lineup, and they could just do the normal kind of lavender and sage sweet combo, and then have this nice aquatic marine kind of smell, and then even go in the approach of like the Invictus parfum that they did and add in like a nice deep sandalwood and really like make it nice woody in the base. But yeah, I don't know, I think a nice aquatic fragrance, I know they have a few aquatic fragrances in their line that were discontinued, but I think they should just resurface it, honestly. Now, this is probably asking for way too much because they just released the Myself line, but I think YSL needs a new line. And I know that's saying so much, and that's like, Nate, where is your head? Are you on crack? No, I am not. They got the L'Homme line. They've got the Lana Huida L'Homme line. They have the Myself line. They have the Y line. I don't think they need another line, but why not? Let's try it. They also have the Private Bit. I don't actually think they need another line, so let's scratch that one off the list. I think it would be cool, though. Just, it's kind of like, why? Why do we need that? Why do we need it? The next one I would really love to see is from Ralph Lauren. I would love to see either a yellow bottle, like a Polo Yellow, or Polo Purple again. They used to have Polo Purple, I'm pretty sure. But just doing like different colors of the rainbow, I suppose. Polo Orange. What about Polo Orange? Exceptional DNA. Put in a great DNA into like Ralph's Club Polo Orange, let's just say. Put an insane, beautiful smelling DNA into one of those fragrances that lasts a long time, projects pretty well, and it just smells fantastic. And then, boom, you have a bestseller. And it's like, their whole line is based off of Polo Red, Polo Blue, Polo Black, and it's like they have at least 2 more different kinds of flankers out because they could just keep going down the different color rabbit hole. Yellow, you can do orange, you can do purple, pink. I don't know. Give us some more colors. The other one I would really love to see is from Mancera. I love Mancera, and whenever they come out with something new, I really kind of take an eye to it. So I'd love to see them come out with another kind of like, really unique kind of fragrance. And I don't really know what they could do with it, honestly, but because their fragrance line is so vast, they have something for everybody and every little nuance. They have fabulous yuzu, which is you know, yuzu is like such a weird kind of fragrance material, but they utilize it in a fragrance. So they're very well covered. So I don't know what they could possibly do, but I think it would be really cool to see them come out with something new. As far as fragrances I don't want to see, that should just stay in archives. I think we don't need another 1 million. I think 1 million is done. We should just retire it, put it in the grave. Eros, I think we should be done with Eros. Although I would really love to see an Eros black or an Eros purple. If they decide to put out the purple version, I'll be okay with it, okay? Or the black version, listen, I'll make us an exception, okay? If they did that, I'll be okay. I'll be chill. Other than that, stay away from me. I don't think we need any more Hawasses. They just released a Hawas Fire, which I'm trying to get my hands on. I can't find it anywhere. I'm trying to pick that one up. But I don't think we need any more. We have Fire, we have Ice, we have the original, we have the black version. Stop it. We're okay now. We're done. We're also getting Stronger With You Parfum, which I'm excited for. I want to try it. I'm not a huge fan of it, so it might be a fragrance that I like glance at and shy away from and then smack it around maybe a little bit. Might get a sample of it, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of the fragrances that you really want to see in 2025. And, you know, the one thing I really want to see across the board is some of these prices come down. But we got to stop living in an imaginary world. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.